Is the stock market set up to crash? Has the tariffs, aka trade war, begun? Has inflation expectations set to go up? Is this the warning we've been waiting for? So we're going to talk with Mr. Dan Byrne and understand what is going on with the stock market, what are the internals, and just how bloody and painful next week might be. Mr. Bird, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Not just next week.
Yeah, it's going to be this could go on a while. So I'm
Next,
curious what you saw as we wrapped up the week and
next week might be the beginning. We wrapped up the January barometer too. We'll look at that, see where
I
we
saw
are.
that's true, right? We got the last trading day of January. So we've got all three readings, the Santa Claus rally, the 5 trading days, and January. But I'm
Yeah.
curious, how did you think the market reacted? Obviously, the trade war, the announcement came out midday on Friday that tariffs were going to go into effect Saturday. They have now in effect Sunday. The market did not seem to like it. So I'm
Mark,
curious what the setup looks like.
the market did not like it. I think the market has been looking for catalysts to go down anyway.
Yeah.
So that was just one more. I mean, the Fed meeting was one. The market went down from that. I didn't think that was all that bad, really. But the market was trying to read in some hawkish comments, which I didn't really think that was the case. Everyone should have expected that they were going to hold.
Yeah.
But I think the market is at a point. We'll look at it, but it's at a point where it's in what's called a distribution phase.
Yes, and
And
we've talked about this the last 2 or 3 weeks, folks. If you don't remember what the distribution phase, that's the down part of the chart, as I recall.
no, that's not the down part.
Oh, that's not the down part. What is the?
No,
Is
the
that
down
the
part
this?
is the markdown phase. It's the
Oh,
side.
markdown. See?
It's the
Ah,
sideways phase just before the markdown.
got it. Got it.
I'll
All
show
right.
you. I
Well,
put it. It was in the newsletter this week. I'll show you the chart. Interestingly, you and I talk every week if we can, and I've been showing this for at least 3 weeks now,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And Tom Bowley is just now talking about watch out, the market might be headed down. He just
I,
started saying that.
I love this. We have receipts, baby. We go back 3 weeks. We've been warning folks. People are getting ready for it. So let's see what the internals look like. Let's take a look.
Yeah, there's lots of things we can look at today, actually. Let me share my screen here. First, let me put it on my website. And I would like to thank all of your subscribers and all of the people that have joined my YouTube channel, which I do every day. So I just do a market update every day and um, get some really good comments.
Nice.
I'm at almost 800, I think, something like that.
Wow, you're growing fast. That's no fair. It took me forever to get to 400. You're growing like
Really?
a weed. No, I'm just kidding. Good for you.
Well, it's been 2 months now.
You realize you realize that you saying that there are people that have been doing this for a year that aren't at 800. So you have no context. 800 in 2 months is awesome. Keep it up.
Well, for me, I'm just glad that people are getting value out of it. I get a lot of off, side comments, people sending me
Yeah.
emails and stuff saying, this is great. I love doing I actually set up a daily routine. It's
Yep.
actually on the website. Can you see this, by the way?
I can. Yeah, you're good.
So that's my website, breakpointtrading.net. There's a free newsletter right in this little box here. The YouTube channel is right in the upper right hand corner. So do not ask Mr. Zuber to put the link on on YouTube, because YouTube deletes them.
Yep.
But you can just go to breakpointtrading.net. There's no cost to that. Just go there. The link is right in the upper right there. It's also at the top of my newsletter for anybody that's noticed that. So there's a couple of ways you can get to it. Just click on those things. But what I did was on the charts page, this is for subscribers. First page you don't need a subscription for. I put a section down here. I kind of consolidated some of the charts down here in what I call the daily routine.
Hmm.
So this is basically just the routine to go through each day. So, and interestingly, we'll do a couple of these. We'll look at we'll do it with the S&P. This is the weekly trend analysis. So right now it is not signaling. It's not giving a sell signal yet.
Right.
So I want to make that clear as we talk about this today. It is not yet given a sell signal. So that means it could still keep continuing to go up. We don't know.
Hmm.
But I'll show you some of the patterns historically. But this right down here is the long-term trend, the medium term, and you see back here, this is 2022 for the long, 1 year bear market that we went through.
Hmm.
Or this on. So there's 22 right there. You can see the medium term went below zero right there in January with a red bar. It has not done that yet.
Well, you know what? Let me ask you a question here. This is something I actually came prepared for because I know you and I talk every Sunday. Obviously, I don't think the market ended Friday very well.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, as you know, the stock market doesn't trade Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
We will get the futures will open at about, I don't know, 5 o'clock or something.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching crypto, specifically Bitcoin, because it does trade 24/7.
Right.
And Bitcoin's down about $4,000, maybe $5,000 since Friday. So I'm guessing that Monday is going to be bloody because I think Bitcoin is a indicator. Because if you can track Bitcoin over the weekend, I think it's a tell for the open on Monday. Am I crazy?
No, I think that is pretty accurate.
Yes.
This is the 10-minute chart for Bitcoin.
Yeah, that does not look
Um,
good to me.
however, it does close, on Friday. The chart
Oh,
closes on Friday.
so okay.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. No, that's not right. This is
No,
February
it's
1st. Yeah,
yeah,
this
no,
is
it's
still
open.
this is still showing. Yeah, this is the act. This is real time.
So that's ugly. Is that fair to call it an ugly chart?
Yeah, that's pretty ugly. It's here's Friday right here, the 31st. So it ended right here. It kind of little bit went sideways until Saturday afternoon, and then it's heading down. And one thing that I have showed before, and on my website on the charts page, there's lots of charts over here, of course, but there's a little Bitcoin section. If I can even find it myself,
Hmm.
right here, Bitcoin correlation with the Qs. So this is a correlation chart. So this is Bitcoin up above. This is 10 years.
Yeah.
And down below is correlation. This is correlation with the NASDAQ.
So the
In this case,
higher the number, the more it's correlated.
correct. The more it is in the upper part of this range right here. So one, if it gets a one, that means it trades
Perfect
exactly the
correlation.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly the same. You notice way back here 10 years ago, it was inversely correlated.
Right.
And it was, it got correlated, then it came back down, and then it went up, and then it went up. And as
Yeah.
we as we've gone along, as Bitcoin has found more buyers and more
Hmm.
acceptance in the marketplace, it is now highly correlated to the Nasdaq.
Yeah. And this is what I was looking at Friday going, I wonder what Bitcoin's going to do this weekend. And it is essentially gone down 5%.
Yeah,
So Monday could be ugly.
and I've said this before, and I'm not sure if Bitcoin um, bulls believe me, but because it's so highly correlated, that means if the market goes down, then Bitcoin's going to go down.
And
And
vice versa.
I hadn't thought about it the other way around, but you're right. Since it trades 24/7,
It's a great
you can do
weekend
the same
indicator.
correlation the other way.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing that's happening, this always happened in the stock market, but Bitcoin specifically, there's a lot of leveraged traders. So a lot of those people are going to get washed out, which will make forced sellers on Monday.
Yes, that's right. I wonder if our buddy MicroStrategy is. I mean, not MicroStrategy. Yeah, MicroStrategy.
MicroStrategy, yeah, I forget the guy's other name, but yeah,
Yeah,
Michael Saylor.
Michael Saylor. I wonder if he's going to get washed out. Now, I think
No, I
I
doubt
think
it.
his entry point is like 62,000. So
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to 62,000, but
no. Yeah,
right now
it's
it's
going to
at
be interesting.
97. I mean,
Yeah,
97 is
yeah,
not that bad actually.
but
Let's
it's a
go back.
5% move. When you say it's not bad, you got to put it in context. It's a
Well,
$5,000 move since Friday.
yeah, but not
Yeah,
with
but dude, if you're
Bitcoin.
if you're leveraged 10-1, you could be washed out.
No, you could, but remember back when it hit 100, and I said it probably is going to go back to 90. I mean,
You did.
that was a
Yeah,
10% move, and it
yeah,
did.
it did. Yeah. And a lot
So
of
I
people
mean,
got washed out. Yep.
it's very volatile, and it's still sitting. It's actually below support right now. This is a this is 30 days right here. So it's back to the
Yeah.
beginning of the year, basically. But it can go all the way down here to 90 again. That's where it hit 90 right there.
Yep.
You can go back. It could easily go back there. Now,
Yeah, no,
if it,
again, I was just curious what this if this might be an indicator for the open on Monday. And it
yeah,
sounds like
absolutely. Yeah, no question. It is. I think next week is going to be the beginning. I think it's going to be the beginning.
okay.
So that chart that I showed you by the end of the week, and that's why it's part of my daily routine. So this right here, I mean, you can see what happened right here in January of 22, just before the market had that full year bear market all the way till October.
Mhm.
It got a blue, I mean, it got a red bar right there. We don't have that yet. We're still green right now.
Mhm.
But you see how fast that happened, and
Yeah.
you can see the drop off right there. And the one back there is actually a little bit higher than where we are right now,
Hmm.
right? So in one day, or 1 week, I should say, this is a weekly chart. In just 1 week, it went below zero.
Hmm.
So this could give a sell signal as early as the end of the week.
Yep. Okay.
It could. That doesn't mean it will, but that's why it's part of my daily routine. I can just look at that and see what's happening. It's also the big picture, get a sense for what the S&P looks like. There's that sideways movement right up here, what we're in right
Yeah.
now.
Yep.
And while we're on it, let me remind you of what I had said back here. I put this in my newsletter as well. So that's how market cycles usually work. It's either a whole market or a stock or different things. But markets, if you're looking at a market, that means all the stocks are doing this.
Hmm.
Individual stocks can do it in different time frames, but there's an accumulation phase, there's a markup phase, and there's the distribution phase at the top. Keep that in mind, what that looks like right there.
Yep.
And then we'll take a look at that one.
Looks
Does
very
that look
similar.
does that look kind of similar?
Yeah. And we know what comes next.
Either that or that or that.
Hmm.
So this one has the markup or markdown phase on the chart as well. But if you only consider the markup and the distribution part of this and just forget about the right hand side for a second,
Yep. Looks very similar.
looks very similar, doesn't it? But again, it has not broken. So that does not mean it's going to. It could come down and go back up again.
Yep.
It could
Good.
it could keep doing this for a few weeks.
Yeah.
But the key line in the sand is 58.50
Okay.
on the S&P.
58.50. Got it.
If it breaks 58.50, the next stop is down here around 55 to 5600, which is where the 50-week moving average is. And if it breaks through 55, then it's going down to 51, which is right
Mm.
down here.
Okay.
And that guy that was predicting gloom and doom said 37, so 37 is way down here.
Yeah. Well,
But
I think Monday morning is going to be interesting.
yeah, I think it could easily get to 5100 in the next month or so, couple of months.
Okay.
All right. Now, having said that, let's talk about the January barometer.
Sure.
All right, because January's over now,
Mhm.
and we actually got an up January,
Wow. Even with a down Friday. Okay.
even with a down Friday. And notice how Friday it went up and hit that resistance line. Try to get above it. So that's a failed breakout. We had a failed breakout here, went back down. Of course, that was the DeepSeek news right there, actually the next day. And then it went and hit that resistance right there, which is the high from back here, and went back down. So that's where it closed, and here's where it opened over here. So up 2.7. So the first one, Santa Rally, was down 0.5. First 5 days was up 0.6. January's up 2.7. That
Mm.
typically means the year will be higher.
The end of the year. By the end of the year.
The end of the year will be higher.
Okay.
All right. So that does not mean we can't have a 10% correction between
Yeah.
now.
It doesn't say we have to get there in a straight line.
exactly. Yeah. Or even stay where we are. Could easily come down. So here's 24, which is a great year. There's the January barometer over here. We had minus, I call that flat, but
Yep.
most people call it minus, but I'd call it flat. And then up 1.6. We're up 2.7 this time. And that's what 24 did. Starting back here in January, we ended right up here. And if we look at 23, January barometer in 23 was
Plus, plus, plus.
plus. Yeah, they're all pluses. Up 6.2 basically for the full month. So banner year in 23. That was after that 2022 bear market, which ended right there in October. All right. So we had a great year. So it's got a pretty good track record of hitting, and it very well may hit again. But like I said, it doesn't mean we can't have a 10% correction between now and then.
Yeah, the other thing, because again, we got the tariffs going on, which would be a headwind for the stock market for sure. We have you can call it a trade war now because we have retaliation.
Yeah.
We're going to have inflation expectations rising. We have a jobs number. Like, this is jobs week, right? So I mean, the jobs numbers are important. How important do you think the jobs number are this week?
Jobs number is critical for what the Fed is going to do. As we've talked about before, I don't think the Fed really wants to do anything. They don't want to,
right.
but they might have to.
I think I saw expectations, or they expect 176,000 jobs created this month or January.
Actually, let's look at that on my newsletter right here. By the way, my cartoons were all about egg prices. So our nest egg is now literally an egg. Oh yeah, I bought eggs.
Nice.
Easter bunny.
Oh.
Press her with something expensive.
That's funny.
But that's last week. Here's next week. I don't have the expectations for
I read them they came out this morning, 176.
Okay, that's not too bad. Right. What was the rate? Was that in there?
It was. So 175, I'm sorry, 175. 4.1, they expect it to stay current at 4.1.
Okay. If that happens, then the Fed is just fine.
It's on pause.
And
Fed's not cutting
probably that probably is what will happen. Here's the
the weekly unemployment reports have been looking good.
Yep, it's been looking pretty good. It spiked a little bit in the beginning of January, but it's been coming down, and then we're going to get another one on Thursday.
Yep.
So that actually has been looking pretty good, and so I think inflation is just going to kind of go the unemployment rate is going to probably just go sideways through here, and the Fed rate's going to go sideways. So everything is kind of normalizing right now.
Yeah, well, let's talk about CPI, because I know it's not next week, it's the week after. But Jerome Powell said something I thought that was important at his press conference. Basically said, hey, I know we're set up for inflation to get better, but being set up for inflation to get better doesn't mean it will, which I think is a shout out to last January being a surprise.
Yes. And from the base effect, we've got a big one that's going to drop off.
That's what he's talking about. This is the January through March.
Right there. So this one here is going to drop off in the next report, which will come in there. So as long as we don't get a higher one over here, then inflation will look like it's coming down. Now, right now it's 2.9. So if it goes to 3 is a psychological number.
Yeah.
That won't be good if it goes up.
No.
But it should, the next 3 or 4 months, it should get some tailwinds.
Yeah, and that's what Jerome Powell sees this. This is what Jerome Powell is trying to tell the average person. The next 3 months, 2 to 3 months, we should have better inflation readings, but that doesn't mean we will, because last year, January, that big number you pointed out, had all these year-end adjustments, right? Like auto insurance and things. It just made it look ugly.
Look at commodities.
Oh, no.
Right, I know. So this is the month for CPI right there.
Yeah, the only good news is oil is basically down.
Well, it's kind of flat. It's not down. It's flat from the beginning.
That's true. Yeah.
You look at it from the beginning of the month to the end, and it's pretty much flat. It's kind of like that. But everything else is up. It's actually up a little bit, but everything else is screaming higher.
And it's not going to get any better with tariffs, right?
Yeah, well, tariffs will take a while, so it's not going to be in this one.
Yeah, no, it won't be in. I wasn't trying to say this month, but again, when we
But
look out to future months.
right. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm still not convinced that tariffs are going to cause huge inflation.
No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it'll cause huge inflation. It'll just be disruption,
Right.
right?
Yeah. I
It'll
think
be
it'll be
chaos.
psychological
Correct.
more than anything else.
Yeah, I agree.
And we'll see. I mean, it's kind of a game of chicken right now.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Should be interesting. The interesting thing about it is he's using tariffs as a way to try to reduce the inflow of immigrants.
Not that I understand. I think he's using it to potentially lower personal income tax. That's the big dream, right? Go back to a country where taxes are paid on imports, and he's
Yes.
using it to stop fentanyl, right? Drugs and
Well,
nasty
that's
shit.
immigrant. Yeah, that which is also immigrants coming across.
Okay.
I mean,
Well, I guess they're
uh,
transporting. So I guess if that's what
they're
you mean.
trans,
Okay.
yeah, trans
Yeah. The
coming across the
transportation.
border. Right.
Right.
So stop it in your country. Don't
Yeah.
expect
Don't
us to
put it in
stop it.
mine. Yeah.
Right. So, but that comment about taxes is an interesting one
Hmm.
because there is a lag period. Let's say they do accomplish the goal of raising tariffs, which brings some revenue in.
Hmm.
However, it could reduce revenue uh, if it is a trade war.
Sure.
So if there's tariffs on the other side too, really then it's the trade balance. Really, that's the key.
Right.
But if he wants to get rid of the income tax, but and replace it with you can't replace it with tariffs completely. You'd have to replace it with a flat tax of some kind.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's lots of again, what I'm telling my audience is the next 90 days, and the good news is I have receipts. I told people this was coming. The next 90 days are going to be chaotic. Don't don't jump at any one headline.
Right,
Um, let's come back and see where we are April 15th, and then we can
right,
get mad if it's appropriate to get mad. But
yeah,
I think there's a big game of chicken. There's a big game of chess,
yeah.
and
That's right.
we don't see all the pieces yet.
That's right. Exactly. And we don't see the outcomes either. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So
it's hard to judge on a single move when you're playing a multi-dimensional chess. So I'm going to wait 90 days, and if it's appropriate to get mad in 90 days, I'll get mad. I'm just not going to worry about it until then.
yep. So on CPI, this is not going to help. The
No,
the the base effect will help. This will not help. Although I understand, I read somewhere that owner equivalent rents have come down or
they've
expected to
come.
come down.
Yeah, they're expected to come down. Again, that could be the January adjustment. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
I think it's on the 12th. February 12th is going to be a really important reading.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
is.
it
It
could go
is.
down. It could go from 2.9 to 2.7, 2.6. It could.
Here's the month of February historically
Oh, there you
from
go. Yep.
Stock Traders Almanac. So yeah, CPI is on the 12th right there.
Yep.
Got a day off on the 17th, and then options expire on the 21st. So historically, the market drifts higher the first week,
Yep.
and then the end of the month it drifts lower. But I think we are set up right now, based on what I've shown you with the charts. I think we are set up. Let me show you one more thing. This is John Carter's squeeze.
Oh,
This is
yeah,
a
I remember
monthly.
this.
This is a monthly. The monthly squeeze. And remember, I showed back here these two. This is November, December of 21.
Right.
The market was still going higher at that time.
Now,
Um,
now we have two back-to-back months.
Now we have two back to back. Yeah, with negative momentum. Pretty
Yep.
much exactly like what happened just before the 22 bear market,
Yep.
except about 2 months later.
Yeah, a little bit of a lag. Yeah,
Right.
so you've been saying this for a while. You wouldn't be surprised if 2025 at least rhymes or mirrors 2022.
Right. Yes, that would not surprise me at all. I think everything is set up for this. Like I said, it doesn't mean it will happen.
Right, of course not.
Um,
Yep.
it could still go up, but
How bad was 22? Was that like 24% or something?
yeah, something like that.
Okay.
24. I think it was 24. Where was my chart? Right there. So we're at 61. It's trying to get through that level, this level right here. This is where it keeps bouncing back and forth. I mean, some other things that are kind of indicators of this is the
Mhm.
way stocks trade after earnings.
Okay.
So, for instance, let's look at Apple. Apple beat their earnings last week,
Mhm.
but look what happened.
Hmm.
It opened up
Open
here,
high and sold off all day.
sold off
Yeah.
all day,
Yeah.
all the way down. That's that's Apple. And I feel bad for people that love Apple and they see Apple going up into earnings and they say, if it has great earnings, I'm jumping in because Apple's a great company.
Mhm.
And then saw it come all the way back down.
Yeah, that's a pretty significant move. Yeah.
Yes. So another one is Tesla. Tesla missed earnings,
Hmm.
right? So Tesla misses earnings and they basically didn't move at
Do no,
all.
yeah, do nothing.
Right. Microsoft missed.
Hmm.
Huge move down right there on Microsoft
Yeah.
with a black candle and an engulfing candle. For those that are interested, I did a whole session. I do technical Tuesdays on my YouTube channel. And I think last week or the week before, I did candles. I explained how candles work.
Nice.
So that is not a good look right there. That could continue to go lower. Nvidia,
Hmm.
that's the DeepSeek,
Yep.
crash right here, and it tried to come back, but now it's heading back down again. In fact, it after DeepSeek, this is last Monday,
Yep.
opened here and closed way down here. The next day, it had a bounce, so everyone thought that was it. It's over.
Hmm.
I think that was mostly short covering.
Probably.
But now it's given back all of that gain from Tuesday and more.
Yeah.
So that's not a good look. Um, Netflix is one of the shining stars. It's hanging in there.
Yep.
It's still up there. What else have we got? Google, another one. That whole internet group is still moving higher. Google's actually breaking out
Hmm.
of the sideways pattern right now. So Google's hanging in there. But probably half of the Magnificent Seven are either
Ugly charts.
treading water or going a little higher, and the other half are ugly.
Got it.
And as we've talked about, these are the ones that have been holding up the market the last year.
Hmm.
So if they really fall apart like this, then I think the whole market's going to be in trouble. I think it's poised to go down anyway.
Right.
I think you see a lot of people shorting on Monday.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll
Well,
see what
it's going
happens.
to be really interesting because again, 5 days a week, anytime the stock market's open at 7 o'clock P or Eastern, 7 p.m. Eastern, you do a daily wrap up, right? So I think your Monday show
I
is going to
do.
be
I
must
do.
watch
And
TV.
what I do, it's called the daily scan. And what I do is I go through my dashboard, look at what the market did that day, what the sectors, what the rotation is. I go through some of these, the big picture, Keltner charts to see, where it is right now. It's just kind of almost in the middle.
Hmm.
So it really has not made a commitment one way or the other. Again, like I was saying, it is not giving a sell signal right now
Yet,
yet,
not, yeah,
but that could come pretty quickly.
right.
So it's not at the extreme level up here,
Yep.
but there's the mean right there, 21 day. But it could easily drop, probably will drop through that on Monday, and then we'll see if it goes all the way back down to the bottom, which is at 5,800. There's 5,850 right there, which is
Hmm.
basically at the 2x level.
Yeah.
That's where I think it's headed. And then the market will make a decision of what it's going to do. And if it doesn't drop through it, then we're going to get another leg back up again
Yeah.
in this
Back
little
to my
sideways.
back to my discussion on Bitcoin. I just checked Ethereum, and Ethereum just cracked 3,000 to the downside, so it's falling apart right now.
What's Bitcoin doing?
Bitcoin's kind of same spot, same place
Yeah,
we
there
were
it
when
is.
we had our opening talk.
Right. Yep, it's right there. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. So I've been saying it for a couple of weeks now. We did a whole session a couple of years ago where I showed all of the big crashes, the 2008, even the COVID crash, the 2001 crash, and I showed how the market was giving you warning signs before that long downtrend actually happened.
Yep.
So the market's giving you warning signs again. Tom Bowley is even starting to talk about that.
Nice. Well, it's going to be fun to watch your channel again. We got to show your channel because you should probably go over 1,000 subs on Monday. People better be subscribing to it because it's going to be an interesting show.
Yeah, if you watch, just subscribe. Subscription means you'll get notified when I put a new one out.
Yep, 7 p.m.,
So
5 days
I
a week.
guess unfortunately, because mine are pretty regular, they're 7 o'clock every day. You don't have to get notified. They're just going to be there, right?
Yeah, just subscribe to the
But
channel. Get them
subscribe
over
anyway.
1,000 subs.
Subscribe anyway.
Yeah, let's help them out.
We'll see.
Dan, you're amazing, man. Take care.
All right. Have a good weekend. Take care.
You